What if your own brother secretly recorded your private conversations, planning to turn them into a global bestseller? Imagine the shock, the betrayal, the feeling that every intimate moment you shared, every confession, every private joke, was no longer just between you. That's exactly what Prince William claims Prince Harry did. For years, William stayed silent, keeping his dignity and protecting the royal family's image. But now, the truth has come out, and it's nothing short of explosive. But before we continue, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell for updates. The royal rift has been a story the world thought it understood. Harry and Meghan stepping back from official duties, the Oprah interview that shook Buckingham Palace, the endless headlines about tension, betrayal, and heartbreak. But behind the polished smiles and carefully worded statements, a much darker story was unfolding. Sources say William's silence wasn't just patience, it was restraint. And the moment he finally spoke, the revelations were shocking even to those closest to him. Imagine being Prince William for a moment. Your younger brother, once your closest ally, the one you confided in about fears, frustrations, and family secrets, suddenly writes a memoir. A memoir that claims honesty but may have crossed the line into betrayal. Every private conversation you had could be fodder for public consumption, monetized, scrutinized, dissected by the world. And the kicker? William says he only found out after the fact. So why does this matter now? Why is William breaking his silence today, after years of enduring media speculation, whispered rumors, and public assumptions? Because this isn't just a family dispute. It's a story that touches on trust, loyalty, legacy, and power. The very foundations of the monarchy, already under strain, now face a challenge that could redefine how the world sees the royal family. And the timing is no coincidence. Sources say the disclosure aligns with the release of Harry's latest memoir excerpts, ensuring maximum impact, both for the public and for William's side of the story. But the most shocking part isn't just the claim that Harry recorded conversations. It's the content, the context, and the implications. Words whispered in private, candid thoughts expressed in confidence, now transformed into a weapon, or at least, that's what William believes. What exactly was captured in those recordings? Which moments were turned into chapters? And what does it mean for the brothers' already fragile relationship? The answers are just beginning to emerge, and they're more jaw-dropping than anyone could have imagined. But what came next would change everything, and no one saw it coming. For years, I stayed quiet. I chose to protect my family, our legacy, and the truth. But some things can't stay hidden any longer. That's how insiders describe Prince William's statement when he finally broke his silence about Harry's shocking departure from royal life. For decades, the public has speculated about the rift between the brothers, secret disagreements, media battles, and private tensions. But now, William isn't just responding to rumors. He's setting the record straight, and his words carry weight that no tabloid can ignore. Imagine the pressure. Every move you make as heir to the throne is scrutinized. Every emotion is analyzed, every glance dissected. Yet William, for the longest time, chose to let Harry take the spotlight, to let the story unfold without adding fuel to the fire. But the recent leaks about Harry secretly recording their private conversations for his memoir forced his hand. The betrayal wasn't just personal. It threatened the family, the institution, and the delicate balance that keeps the monarchy respected and revered. William's revelation came during a closed-door interview with a trusted confidant. The atmosphere was tense. The weight of years of frustration, disappointment, and heartbreak was palpable. Sources say he spoke with measured calm, but his voice carried the kind of controlled anger only someone who has been deeply hurt can muster. He described conversations where Harry's words were intimate, sincere, even vulnerable, shared in confidence, never meant for public consumption. And then, according to William, those very words were allegedly recorded, repurposed, and turned into content for a book set to captivate millions. It wasn't just the act of recording that stunned everyone. It was the intent behind it. William believes that Harry's memoir wasn't just a story to tell. It was a strategic move to control the narrative, paint himself in a favorable light, and profit from family secrets. Imagine learning that every moment you trusted your sibling, every private gripe, every candid laugh, could be published for the world to judge. That's the level of betrayal William claims he faced, and it explains why the silence that defined these years finally shattered. But the public isn't just interested in the fact that William spoke. It's what he said next. His words hinted at recordings that could contain explosive insights, moments that would challenge everything the world thinks it knows about the royal family. Which conversations were recorded? What was captured? And most importantly, how would Harry react to William revealing that he knew all along? The answer is coming. But what happened immediately after William's disclosure would leave the palace buzzing and the public reeling. And the twist in his revelation? It's something no one expected, not even the closest royal aides. But what came next would change everything, and no one saw it coming. Imagine discovering that every private conversation you thought was safe was secretly being recorded. That's the shocking claim Prince William has made about his younger brother, Prince Harry. For years, the world speculated about the reasons behind Harry's exit from royal life, the media battles, and the memoir that sent shockwaves through Buckingham Palace. But according to William, the most damaging act wasn't the book itself, it was the method. Secret recordings, captured without consent, used to shape a narrative that could redefine public perception of the monarchy. Sources reveal that William first suspected something was amiss when he noticed Harry quoting personal conversations in interviews and snippets leaked from the memoir. Moments that were meant to be private, discussions about family struggles, royal duties, and even personal doubts, suddenly appeared in the public domain. William reportedly confronted Harry privately, seeking clarity, only to be met with evasive responses. The tension grew as William realized this wasn't a casual mistake. He believes Harry had deliberately recorded these conversations over time, collecting material for the book he planned to release. The idea of a royal secretly recording family discussions is unprecedented. The monarchy thrives on protocol, discretion, and trust, values that have governed the palace for centuries. To violate those principles is not just a personal betrayal, it's a structural one. William has been described as feeling stunned, betrayed, and deeply hurt. Emotions compounded by the fact that these recordings weren't merely a private misstep, they were potentially being prepared for mass consumption. Every family meeting, private dinner, and candid conversation was suddenly cast under a shadow. Royal insiders suggest that the content of these alleged recordings could be explosive. From critiques of palace life to intimate reflections on personal struggles, William believes Harry had amassed a collection of sensitive material capable of rocking the monarchy. And while the public might focus on the memoir's revelations about Meghan, mental health, or royal protocols, William insists the real damage lies in the breach of trust between brothers. After all, betrayal within the family cuts far deeper than anything printed in a book. The emotional weight of these recordings is staggering. William reportedly questioned not just Harry's motivations, but the potential consequences for the monarchy itself. Could trust between siblings ever be restored? Could the royal family maintain its cohesion when private conversations are weaponized? And perhaps most importantly, how much of the world's perception of Harry and the family is being rewritten using these recordings as a foundation? And yet, William hinted that the most shocking recording, one that could change everything, is yet to be revealed. What was said? Who was involved? And why has it remained under wraps until now? What came next would ignite a firestorm within the palace walls, and the consequences would extend far beyond family drama. What do you do when someone you trusted the most turns your private words into public material? That's the question that has haunted Prince William since learning about the alleged recordings. For the heir to the throne, this wasn't just a personal betrayal. It was an attack on the foundation of everything he believed about family, loyalty, and trust. Insiders describe William's emotional reaction as a mixture of controlled fury, heartbreak, and disbelief, a cocktail that few in the palace had ever witnessed before. William, known for his measured public persona, reportedly spent hours reflecting privately after discovering the extent of Harry's actions. Sources say he walked the halls of Kensington Palace alone, replaying memories of shared confidences, brotherly advice, and moments of vulnerability. Each recollection now carried the shadow of betrayal. Friends close to William reveal that he felt a unique combination of anger and sadness. Anger at being used, sadness at the erosion of a relationship that had once been unbreakable. Royal insiders claimed the emotional stakes were high because this breach of trust wasn't abstract. It wasn't a rumor or a media twist. These were real conversations. Moments where William expressed frustration about the pressures of royal duty, candid worries about the monarchy's future, and personal opinions about family members. All of it, allegedly recorded without his consent and potentially waiting to be exploited for public consumption. Imagine your deepest thoughts, your vulnerabilities, your personal frustrations, laid bare for millions to judge. For William, the emotional toll was immense. But it wasn't just about personal betrayal. William understood the broader consequences. The monarchy's image, public trust, and even the future of the institution could be affected if these recordings went public. Every private conversation potentially held a public consequence, and William reportedly realized he had to act carefully. He couldn't lash out impulsively, and he couldn't allow the narrative to be controlled entirely by Harry. For the first time in years, the pressure of duty collided violently with personal pain. Sources say William confided to a close aide that the hardest part wasn't the recordings themselves, it was the intent behind them. He believes Harry's goal wasn't simply storytelling. It was to control the narrative, to profit from familial trust, and to paint himself in a favorable light while leaving William in a vulnerable position. This understanding fueled a deep, simmering frustration. For the first time, William reportedly considered breaking his silence, preparing to speak publicly to reclaim the narrative and defend his family. And yet, even as William wrestled with these emotions, he dropped a hint that would shock the palace and the world. One of the recordings allegedly contains a revelation so explosive it could alter how everyone sees the brothers, and it hasn't even been revealed yet. What came next would push William to the edge, forcing him to make decisions that no one anticipated, and the consequences would reverberate far beyond the walls of Kensington Palace. What really happened behind closed doors? That's the question the palace staff, royal aides, and insiders have been asking for years. And now, some of those answers are finally coming to light. According to sources close to the family, the tension between William and Harry wasn't just a media spectacle. It was a slow-burning crisis fueled by secrets, private disputes, and yes, alleged recordings that no one outside the family was supposed to know about. What the public sees, the smiles at events, the polished appearances, is only a fraction of the story. The real drama unfolded in private rooms, corridors, and family meetings where tempers flared and trust was tested to its limit. One insider described a particularly tense dinner at Kensington Palace shortly after Harry returned from an official engagement. William reportedly confronted him quietly, asking about the recordings. Harry, according to the source, responded evasively, attempting to minimize the situation. That exchange, however, did little to calm William. Staff close to the brothers said the room was charged with unspoken emotions. Anger, disappointment, and the kind of silent judgment that only years of betrayal can produce.